5-6, the remainder and factor theorems. The idea of today isn't new. We've already done this stuff, but perhaps the directions or the reason behind it might be new, okay? So we've got synthetic substitution. We've done that before. Your remainder is the value. Your remainder is the answer. Factor theorem. Something is a factor of a polynomial if and only if your remainder is 0. For example, does 2 go into 8 evenly? Yes. How many times? 4 without a remainder, right? So that means 2 is a factor of 8 because 8 divided by 2 is 4 without a remainder. So 2 is a factor of it. It goes into it evenly, 0 remainder, okay? We're going to use synthetic substitution today. Before today I said it was fine, you could just plug it in, that's okay. But because we have to remember synthetic stuff anyway, with the notes, go ahead and do synthetic, okay? So if I had blah, blah, blah divided by x minus 2, pretend I had that, what would go in the box? 2. You had to get x alone, right? Isn't x already alone? Isn't that really f of x? Do you guys see what I'm saying? Right? So what goes in the box? -5, right? What goes behind it? 2, -8, -2, and 5. Everybody okay? All right, what do we do? Yeah, bring down the first number. Don't change anything. Just bring it down. So drop the 2. What do I do? Multiply by the box. What do I get? -10. What do I do? Add. What do I get? -18. What do I do? Multiply by the box, get out a calculator, right? What do I get? +90. What do I do? Add. What do I get? 88. What do I do? Multiply. What do I get? -440. What do I do? Add. What do I get? -435. Your answer is the remainder. So if you were to plug all those x's in as -5s, you would get the same answer as what we just got. So if you want to be super fancy, you could say f of -5 is -435. Okay? So now let's do 2. What goes in the box?
15.
The 2, right? What goes behind it? 2, -8, -2, 5, right? I'm doing f of 2, the second part of the question. Okay? What?
When you said -5, I thought you were using the 5 on number 11.
Yeah, me too.
Huh?
I didn't know that you were
Oh, like the +5.
Oh, no. This is the question. Find this thing and then start over. Find this thing. That's what they're saying. Okay? Okay. Bring down the 2. Multiply. What do you get? 4. Add. -4. Multiply. -8. Add. -10. Multiply. -20. Add. -15. So f of 2 is -15. Does that make sense? That's what they wanted? If you had just substituted 2 in for every x, you would have gotten the same answer. Or you should. I don't ever care how you find an answer. I think it's good to practice with this. That's why I wanted to do it in the notes, because we're going to have to remember synthetic division anyway. But on your homework, if you just want to substitute, that's okay. I don't care. No. Yep. Long division sometimes you have to do. I'll remind you of when in a minute. Brianna asked if synthetic substitution does. Yeah, this is fine. This will always work, but synthetic division is not always an option. Remember, it has to be a binomial, has to be a 1x to the 1, and then you go from there. Yeah. Okay, so this one, we're going to start all over again. Find f of -5. So what goes in the box? -5. What goes behind it? 1. What goes behind it? 0. Very good. You're the first class to do that without just saying 8, right? There's a gap there. And then 8. And then 0. 2. -15. Everybody okay? Okay. What? Where's your face red? Oh. There's a bunch. There's a couple. All right. Bring down the 1. Multiply. -5. Add. Negative 5. Multiply. Positive 25, right? Add. 33. Multiply. Negative 165. Add. Negative 165. Multiply. 825. You have a calculator right there. Add. 827. Multiply. Negative 4,135. Add. Yep. So f of negative 5 is negative 4,150. We're not going to do f of 2. I feel like you get it. Is that okay? Okay. All right. Given a polynomial and one of its factors, find the remaining factors. What that means is x minus 3 is a factor of this polynomial. It will go into it evenly. It will have a what remainder? What kind of remainder is it going to have? 0, right? If we don't get a 0 remainder, we messed up. Do you understand that? Okay? So what goes in the box? 3. What goes behind it? 1, negative 1, negative 5, negative 3. Bring down the 1, multiply. 3, add. 2, multiply. 6, add. 1, multiply. Add. 0. Did it do what they said it was supposed to do? Yeah, 0 remainder, right? So how do I write that? X squared plus 2x plus 1. Before today, that would be done. We just divided by that thing. Today, they said, find the remaining factors. What that means is factor your answer. That's all. So how does that factor? It's a perfect square trinomial. X plus 1, x plus 1. That's your final, I'm done answer. Is that okay? Anybody confused? What? All right. Okay. Everybody good? Okay. What goes in the box? 1. What goes behind it? 1, 2, 2, negative 2, negative 3. Bring down the 1. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Add. Same direction, so we better get a 0 because they said find the remaining factors, which means this had a no remainder, okay? How do I write that? X cubed plus 3x squared plus 5x plus 3. Is everybody okay with that? I don't think we've done anything too hard yet. Sarah?
Why is it not 5x squared?
This started out as x to the 4, so this has to be 3, 2, 1, none. Okay? Don't write this down. We're going to try to factor this. Whenever you factor with 4 or more pieces, you have to try factor by grouping, but don't write this down. So I'm going to group, and I'm going to group. GCF, x squared, I'm left with x plus 3. Bring down the plus sign. GCF is a 1. I'm left with 5x plus 3. Do those match? No. So that means is I can't factor by grouping. Okay? So the hard part about Algebra 2 is you don't know this next step yet, and I'll show you it on the next assignment. But I know that negative 1 goes into this, but you don't know why yet. Okay? So you're just going to do it. So I know negative 1 goes into this 1353. You don't know that. You would have tried to have factored it anyway. It didn't factor. I have to keep going. Okay? So I know that negative 1 works. You don't. I'll get there later. Okay? So we're just going to do it again. Bring down the 1. Multiply. Negative 1. Add 2. Multiply. Negative 2. Add 3. Multiply. Negative 3. Add 0. How do I write that? X squared plus 2x plus 3. Try to factor that if you can. Does it factor? No. So our remaining factors we already knew this one was going to work. I don't have to say it again. They told me it was going to work. Do you see that those are the same? Right? I figured out, you don't know how yet, that this one's going to work. So to write that as a factor, if I had this, what would you put in the box? -1, that's why. Is that okay? So these are our remaining factors. And then this doesn't factor anymore. That one was prime.
So if you can't do the grouping, do it.
You shouldn't have one like this on your homework. And if you do, I'll have to tell you what number goes into it again. So the next section is where you learn where I got the -1 from. But not today. Okay? All right, last question. Did somebody say something? No? Okay. Find the value of k so that the remainder is 3. What goes in the box? 2. What goes behind it? 1. Don't overthink it. K. -17. What else do you know? We know the remainder is 3. Okay? Is anyone confused about how I set that up? All right. Everybody in here can get at least 2 numbers right. But you're all going to do it in a different way. So I don't want to just tell you what to do. I want you to take like a minute and try to get 2 numbers written down that you know are right. If you can go farther, great, but at least get 2 for me. Okay? All right. Everybody knows drop the 1. Everybody knows that's a 2. You should have at least gotten there. Okay? If you get stuck, I can help you from here. Somebody raise your hand and tell me what you did. Parker? Okay, where did you start? Did you start this blank, that blank?
I knew that one would be 20.
This one? You knew it would be 20. How did you know it would be 20?
It's 20 plus -17 is 30.
Yeah. So if you're algebraic, if you can't just look at it and figure out that that was 20, you could have said -17 plus I don't know is 3. Do you see what I'm saying? This could have been an x because I don't know it. So then add 17. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is 20. Okay? So somebody knew. Anybody know how to get that down here, Maddie?
You could just take 20 divided by 2 and get 10.
Very good. If going forward is multiplication to get that blank, if I want the guy before him, don't I go backwards with division, right? 20 divided by 2 is 10. So then what's k? 8. Not the only way to do it. I'm going to show you another option, okay? If you understood that, you're probably more geometric than you are algebraic. That's fine. I just want you to know that. So we still knew this and this. I feel like that's not hard, okay? If you're more algebraic, I am. Algebra was always easier for me than geometry. So I'm better at rules. I'm better at writing a formula, all right? So I don't know what this is, but I know it's k plus 2, right? I don't know what this is, but I know it's 2 times k plus 2. Does that make sense? So, again, like before, I could see this is x, and I could still get that this is 20. But I know 2 times k plus 2 gives me the 20. So 2k plus 4 is 20. So 2k is 16. So k is 8. Pick away. Fill in the blanks or do some algebra. Either way. Anybody confused? Are you sure? Okay, great.